go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. I'm your host, the Commish, Jonathan, here at Masters Fantasy Leagues. Today's show, we're going to be taking a look at running back trade targets for Dynasty Leagues. Right before we jump into it, I want to introduce my two co-hosts, two of our draft coordinators, the Doc, Evan. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Not much, man. Just a lot of interesting stuff going on around the NFL. Out here making dynasty trades today. I know a lot of these guys are at home making dynasty trades today. Wanted to get you guys in here and talk about some running backs that you guys are going after currently. So with that said, hey, I'll kick it over to you, whichever one you guys want to go first. Dynasty running backs that you're currently targeting in trades.
You go ahead, Doc. You can start off.
All right. So I will start with a guy that was basically the darling of the offseason in Dynasty, a guy that really just kind of asserted himself into the picture that we're familiar with for the last few years, and that was Jonathan Taylor. Despite him being that hot commodity throughout the offseason, he's been brutal thus far, averaging about, I think, 10 points a game, something like that, and no touchdowns through 3 weeks. That's the big one to take away from his stats thus far, is that no touchdowns yet. In the passing game, he's been capped too. But I feel like overall, even though he's been such a disappointment, I mean, the offensive line's been banged up too. So there's a lot of reasons for it. Like long term, I'm not worried about him. And I think he will be that elite guy once guys like Quentin Nelson are back fully healthy and the offense is humming a little better, because it just seems a little off right now with Wentz and all those guys. But I mean, Marlon Mack wants to trade. Yes, Hines is there, but I think long-term, the offensive line will be healthy and better. Wentz will be better, and Jonathan Taylor will be able to run free. That guy's just not going to be touchdown-less. I mean, the targets are there. All of that is there. It just hasn't quite happened yet for him. And for that reason, I want to go get Jonathan Taylor, because I feel like his price is probably, I mean, besides last year at the beginning of the year, this is probably as low as it's been, just because it's been such a shaky start. So I feel like he's a guy, find someone who's panicking. I mean, I'm sure JK's seen him in a lot of trades already. I mean, I know in some of my leagues, I've seen him shopped around a little bit. So yeah, I'd go out and get Jonathan Taylor while people are panicking.
Yeah, I actually have seen him quite a bit more than I'm used to. He's one of them guys that you don't see a ton of usually, unless it's like a blockbuster trade. The last couple of days, man, I've seen more than usual for sure. Some guys are panicking. Let's not forget, man, he's 22 years old.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems obvious that you wouldn't bail on a guy that's 22 because of 3 bad games, but a lot of people, especially if their team's pretty good, if they're off to a bad start, I mean, that's when you can kind of take advantage of those guys. I mean, they're trying to win now. You gotta send some offers their way.
Yeah, I think another guy you said kind of interesting too, Marlon Mack. I mean, could be on your waiver wire, maybe buried on somebody's roster. Why not go throw a dart at Marlon Mack, man? Who knows where he ends up? A couple destinations I could think of where, he could end up being fantasy relevant again. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because when we decided on this show, I thought of Marlon Mack and I was like, no one probably even has him on a roster anymore. Otherwise, I'd be all over him. Yeah, love that.
I actually do. I have a
yeah, that's smart. That's smart. You should.
But I mean, they're rebuilding teams. Well, remember early in this, I think right before the season started, when J.K. Dobbins went down, Gus Edwards went down. I remember talking to you one day, and I was like, "Hey, man, Marlon Mack's a guy I got my eye on. Maybe Baltimore, and I went and picked him up and stashed him. So
I like that.
Nice take, Doc. Kick it over to you, Evan. Dying to hear your first running back that you're looking for in Dynasty to make trades.
Yeah, so this one, this guy is obviously one of the most elite running backs in the league, and that's Christian McCaffrey. And that might come as a shocker for some of you, as somebody to be targeting, but I think right now is the perfect time to go after someone like McCaffrey. I mean, this is the second year in a row he's injured. The people who have him in dynasty leagues, I think, are getting a little frustrated. And I know personally, some of the leagues that I've been in, people are shopping McCaffrey left and right. I've seen his name come up in some trade talks. And I think right now is the perfect opportunity to buy low on the most fantasy dominant running back we've seen in a while, especially in those PPR leagues. So McCaffrey is somebody that really, with this injury is somebody that I think you can go offer somebody like, I don't know, Saquon and some change to maybe get McCaffrey, because I think these guys are looking for the guys who have McCaffrey are looking for running backs because they're so frustrated with what McCaffrey's been able to put out the last 2 years. And I'm a huge buyer of McCaffrey. I'm trying to get him anywhere I possibly can. I know you know that, Commish. We made that before the season. I think right now, obviously, stock's a little even lower than back then. So I'm getting him wherever I possibly can.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, man. I traded you McCaffrey right before the season started. In another league that I have McCaffrey, I shot out some offers today. Am I hitting the panic button? Maybe a little bit, but hey, man, it's starting to feel like a long time since McCaffrey's been winning me games. And on the teams that I have him, I paid quite a bit to get McCaffrey. So I need McCaffrey to win me games. If he's not going to do that, I'm 0-3 in one of the leagues with McCaffrey. So, I'm starting to look around, not quite thinking rebuild, but I'm taking offers from McCaffrey. So I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, right. And especially if you're in the win now mode, you can maybe you draft, like in my situation in one of my leagues, maybe I drafted Jamar Chase, but my team's in more of a win now mode. Maybe I shoot off an offer, Jamar Chase and some change to try to get McCaffrey.
I'd take it.
I know the Doc's got McCaffrey in that league, so that's not going to happen. But
yeah,
but
you can try.
I'm thinking in the league that I'm in, I'd probably accept that at 0-3. McCaffrey, maybe another little piece like Judy or something like that. I could see that. All right, Doc, kick it back over to you. You got another running back?
Yep, old faithful. Anyone that's been sitting around listening to us for the last couple of years, they know Joe Mixon has been my guy to go and get for a long time. I've been predicting a breakout for a long time, but honestly, he hasn't averaged that many points. I think he's probably around like 14 a game, which is solid. But I feel like he's really just on the verge of like bursting into that upper echelon. Just if you look at his usage, that's the one thing that I really like is his usage is among the highest in the league. He's second in rushing yards in the league to Derrick Henry. He owns that backfield. Receiving, rushing, and I feel like so far he hasn't had the flashy stats because he hasn't scored a touchdown in some of those games, or they're playing a team where they're just better and they haven't really gotten to use him in passing downs as much. I feel like the receptions will come, the touchdowns will come similar to Jonathan Taylor. With that many touches, for him to not have a ton of touchdowns right now is just simply bad luck. He's more than due. It will come, and at the end of the day, it's Joe Mixon. Like, people don't value Joe Mixon super highly as that elite guy, but I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. I think he's ready to make that breakout into elite territory. So I'm going out and offering anybody I can for Joe Mixon. I don't really have to because I have him in every dynasty league I have, but I would go get him. He's still young. He's an absolute workhorse, can do it all. There's not many guys in the NFL that are going to be used as much as he is. So that's a guy I want to go get right now.
Yeah, and I promise you, Jamar Chase owners, like all these long touchdowns, all the touchdowns the Bengals score aren't going to be bombs to Jamar Chase.
Right.
Joe Mixon's going to get his turn too. I like it, Doc. I do.
Thank you.
On that offense, the percentage they use them, it makes sense. He's due.
Absolutely.
All right, Evan, kick it over to you. Your last running back.
Yeah, so this guy, he's more of he's going to be a real cheap option for people. He's probably owned. He might not even be owned in some of your leagues, but I really like Demetric Felton. And that might be a little bit of the hometown bias here, but I think I've been able to watch him more than most people here, and he's just electric when he gets the ball. And I think Jarvis being injured on that offense, he's been able to get a little bit of more opportunity. And it seems like every time this guy touches the ball, he does something awesome with. He does something electric. I mean, he came in the first week that he really played against the Texans, and he scored that electric touchdown. Last week, he was missed on a touchdown that he probably would have been like a 45-yard touchdown from Baker.
Yep.
He had 107 punt return yards. Yeah, that doesn't get you any fantasy points, but it just shows what he can do with the ball. He's a rookie. He's not going to – I mean, I don't think there's a lot of room on that Browns offense right now. But in dynasty leagues, I'm really interested to see where this guy, his future holds. I don't know if it's with the Browns or if it's with a different team. But with what he's doing so far, this is somebody that I think you could send, your third round pick for, or, just a throwaway player, and, you get him real cheap. And he's somebody that you can stash on your roster. He's in the running back slot, even though they use him as more than a running back. They use him in the pass a lot too. He's just a very big boom guy that I can see, a few years down the road being a huge part of a team's offense. So right now, I'm telling you right now is the time to buy in on Demetric Felton. I'm telling you, please listen to me on this. I feel it. I really think this is a guy that 3, 4 years down the road, he's going to be a big name in the NFL.
Yeah. And how good does it feel to be looking at some of these players and thinking if they're attached to this Browns offense going forward, they're worth having? I mean, what a good feeling that is after all these years. Because I do think, I mean, the bottom line is he's getting used, man. They're using him. They're using him all over the place. He's involved in the offense. And that excites me too going forward, man. So I like it.
I will say too, I would not be surprised, and I'm not saying this will happen. I would not be surprised if a year from now, Demetric Felton is in Jarvis Landry's role that Jarvis is currently in. I think a year from now, there's a good shot Jarvis, money-wise, might end up somewhere else. I think Felton's the guy they go to for all those targets, despite having young, talented guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones and Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah, I can see that. Even though, man, I hate to see Odell and Jarvis broke up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. 1 year might be a little early, but I honestly do think whenever Jarvis is done, I think that's Felton's role. He's going to kind of work the slot, and then you're going to use him. I mean, we've already seen them purposely get this guy touches because he's that electric with the ball in his hands.
Right. All right. Good stuff, guys. That's going to wrap up that part of the show. That's 4 running backs. My heavy hitters think you guys should go pick up or make trades for right now. And I actually agree with you guys on all those. Gonna move on to a little quick buy sell rapid fire at you guys. A list of names I've written down here. Some guys I think it's worth asking the question for. And this is Dynasty Football buy sell. So first guy on the list here, we got the number 5 quarterback overall in fantasy football, Jalen Hurts. Are we buying Jalen Hurts as a top 5 quarterback? Buy, sell.
Sell.
I'm going to sell that, but I'm going to sell that with the caveat of top 10, not top 5.
Top 10.
I think his numbers will be better than his actual production on the field, if that means anything. I think he'll continue to be solid in fantasy, but not quite top 5.
Yeah, because even this past week with him, I was going through looking at some of the games I won and lost. I watched that Philly-Dallas game. And
it was a fun one.
Yeah, but somewhere I think he got 25 points. I was shocked. It seemed like such an easy 25 points for him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he threw 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, I think.
Garbage stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next guy here, buy, sell. Number 3 overall right now at the running back position, DeAndre Swift as a top 10 running back.
I think I might have to eat crow on this one. I think buy.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. He's proven me wrong. I'm going to go with buy on that one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Lions are going to use him in the pass game, and they're always going to be losing. So he's got that role as long as he could stay healthy.
Yeah, I got him on a couple teams. I didn't even start him the first 2 weeks. Week, he's in, man, for sure.
Yeah,
I avoided him in all drafts too, and I'm myself too. So
yeah. All right, next guy on the list, currently sitting at number 25 at running back. Just came off this last weekend, hit 100 yards finally this season. Had a decent game, even though at one point during the game, I thought he might have been done for the rest of the year had he fumbled one more time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, buy, sell, dynasty going forward.
Buy.
I'm gonna sell on that one.
I think Clyde was on death's doorstep in terms of fantasy, and I think he just flipped it around at the right time. I have a feeling he's gonna maybe break out a little bit these next few weeks. We'll see.
See, I'm gonna sell on that one. I think last week was kind of a little bit of a fluke before he keeps continuing what he was doing the first couple of weeks and most of last year. I was a buyer before the season. I just think I don't know what it is with him, man. Maybe he's just not as talented as we all thought. I just don't know. Like, he seems like he's in the perfect situation, but for me, I'm watching those games and I'm like, where's Clyde? Where is he? Like, I'm waiting for him to score fantasy points. So I'm a seller until he proves me wrong on that one for sure.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the guy we did right before Clyde Edwards-Helaire, still keep thinking in my head, man, what if they took Swift with that last pick in the first round? I think they would have been so much better off. I'm with you, man. Sell Clyde. I sell him. I'm over him. All right, last two real quick. Zach Moss, touchdowns in consecutive games now after a weird healthy scratch in week 1. Buy, sell Zach Moss going forward.
I'm gonna sell that one too. I can't buy a Bills running back until there's something consistent there for me, and I can't buy the touchdowns. I don't know. They won like 43 to whatever the score was. I don't know if the Bills keep putting up points like that. I got to stay away from that.
Yeah, I'd like to see what he would do in an actual competitive game. Yeah. I'd love to see how they use him. I'm kind of like on the fence on this one because I don't think I'm buying him quite necessarily, especially with it being dynasty. I feel like that makes it even worse. But I think for this year, sure, I'll buy him. But other than that,
I think I got an idea for Moss. We're putting Moss on layaway.
Yeah.
We'll make a small deposit and then check back on payday. Let's see if I like that. I like it too. All right. And then the last guy I had written down here, Henry Ruggs, man, appearances the last 2 weeks in fantasy relevance. If you add it up, man, the last 2 weeks he's averaged 17.5 points a game after basically being a no-show for his whole career. Are we buying the resurgence of Henry Ruggs? Buy, sell?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
one too. I'm a buyer on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They're actually targeting him more than like 2 deep balls a game now, so I feel a lot better about his floor. His floor is finally like worth starting now.
Yeah,
and you have that upside of him
just
catching
a
deep
talent.
ball.
Yeah. It's his raw talent for me.
I try to tell people this isn't John Ross. This guy's actually a really good receiver. He's not just fast. He just happens to be fast too.
Yeah, all right. I agree.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition buy sales for you. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. As always, want to thank you two for being on the show. Any last words, guys?
No, I don't think so.
Yep, I don't have any closing words for you there.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Thanks for watching, guys.